take projection.
Welcome everybody to Taking on Sports. I am TD. That is Greg. Greg, how you doing, man?
I am all right. How are you tonight?
I'm all right. Just the same, so close yet so far away for our Tide.
Yeah.
Tough
Unfortunately.
loss in the Elite Eight. Yeah. Ran into, for the second straight year, just another buzzsaw of a team.
Right.
They looked and played every bit as good as advertised.
Mm-hmm.
Really shut down our guys. A shame. Especially after that record-breaking performance Thursday night
Right.
against BYU. But yeah, it was kind of a worst-case scenario for us. The threes weren't falling. Mark Sears had an off night, and
Probably the worst game of
Dukes and
his
Lang.
time. I don't know. It's horrible.
Yeah, definitely one of them. Excuse me. And then, their length gave us fits all night on both sides of the court.
Dude, I swear everybody on our team is like 6'8" and up. I swear. Everybody seems like they're
It's
like
crazy, and it
huge.
really hurt us, But
Yeah.
we weren't able to play Sears and Holloway together a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just unfortunate end to another great season under Nate Oates, and as disappointing as it is, it's we're in the golden era of Alabama basketball.
We are.
We never had this much success.
No. And yeah, I guess that's the thing now. I mean, now we have expectations. and
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing because now you're like, damn. But,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
There was a
but
time when we
that's
would have just been ecstatic to be in the Elite Eight.
exactly. Exactly. Honestly, I mean, you look at, I don't know, like Duke was probably the worst matchup we could have had. Like, out of the one, either them or Florida, I don't know. We just, for whatever reason, and it's kind of the same. I mean, Florida's big. Duke's super big. They have all types of depth, and we had trouble with both those teams. And those are really the only two teams I felt like we did not, for whatever reason, we just cannot compete with.
Yeah, it's
I don't.
yeah, just like it was our Achilles heel this year. Kind of like last year was inside the inside game. We didn't really have rim protectors, and
Yeah.
year before it was just that kind of like if Brandon Miller was off, then the whole team was off. There's just seems to be always one thing that gets us, and it just like I said, it's hard running into a team like Duke or like UConn last year where they're just so good, and you need to play perfect to beat them, and we didn't do that.
We didn't do that, but the effort was there. I mean, for
Absolutely,
most
yeah.
of the game, I mean, we kept it 6, 8, 10, 11, 10, 8, 6 until the very, until the kind of very end when it was more or less over with. They kind of pulled it out. I mean, the 20, I mean, it wasn't indicative. I mean, I would say, Duke clearly was in control the whole game, but, we kept it somewhat interesting, I'd say, for about 30, 32 minutes out the game, I would say. But
Yeah, that there was a big turning point was that it was like a 5-point swing. We got a rebound off of one of their misses. I think we were definitely in single digits. I can't remember how close it was. And then, we pulled down a rebound, and there's 3 of our guys, and then they just steal it from us, get a shot and a foul, and just kind of turned around, and we didn't have. Yeah, it kind of extended their lead again when a moment when we were making a run. But
I think they got like 11, and I think we cut it to 6, and then kind of got to like 11, and after that it was kind of done, and we just it was like Mark Sears, man. He had the most amazing game Thursday night, and then this sad to see him go out on probably one of his worst games as an Alabama. I mean, he could for whatever he could not hit. anything to save his
Nah,
life. He
yeah.
couldn't even hit a free throw at the end. It was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
it was,
it was not working for him. Those
it
rims were
was,
not
it
kind to
was,
him,
it was
or
painful.
anyone really. The whole team shot terrible from three.
And and then for a while we had the weirdest lineup in there. Like we had like really no, we had a whole bunch of athletic dudes, but nobody wanted to shoot. When
Hmm.
like when Sears was on the bench, Nelson was on the bench. Like all our, I would say our scorers were on the bench. I mean, and this might be the future of the team there, but
Hmm.
um, it was just kind of a weird lineup for about 5 minutes, middle of the second half. Everybody, all the scorers were on the bench there, and I was like, oh, but man, yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
one thing that sits with me after the initial course disappointment is uh, it's just you kind of touched on it there, but it's just a terrible way for Mark Sears' career to end.
yeah,
Particularly after he arguably is the most accomplished player in Alabama history.
absolutely.
Sweet
I mean,
16, Final
most
Four,
tournament
and Elite
wins.
Eight. Yeah, um,
And really, I mean,
he.
he turned into a superstar because honestly, going into last year when it was going to be his team, I was not sold that he was that guy. Going into, you know, we had brought in Grant Nelson and we had brought in folks, and Mark Sears really was. I mean, he was a guy on the the Brandon Miller team, but I mean, he wasn't like the huge part of. I mean, he was. I mean, he showed flashes at times, but he really transformed from just a guy on the team to like a almost a bona fide star, more or less. So he came in my book. He came a long way from what I thought his ceiling was. He definitely surpassed anything I could have ever hoped for. And more or less, I was more disappointed for him than anything because I know.
Yeah.
Just his last time, I know that hurt him that he wasn't able to, put the team uh, on his back one more time, and at least
Yeah,
give us
yeah.
a shot to.
Competitors like that, it's one thing to have a bad game. It's another to
Yeah,
have it in a loss and in that situation,
yeah,
in
the
a single
national stage
elimination
like
tournament.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And you just hope that not too many people, especially Bama fans, but that's not their lasting memory of
you
him in
know,
a crimson tide uniform. You
I
got
would
to
surely
remember.
hope, I would surely hope not, because I mean,
Yeah.
everything he did, and then you know, I mean, you got to look at it. I mean, Thursday he had one of the most spectacular nights of basketball
Hmm.
that I've ever witnessed in person. As far as like an Alabama player, just he was just electric. I mean, it was amazing, and but everybody was on fire, and I mean, that was a performance that we needed last night. And how we played
Yeah.
last night, if we had had we probably still, it would have been tough, closer, but I think we would still been pretty competitive, with BYU, even with last night's performance. Because it wasn't a bad performance, it just was nothing, just went right at the right time. we just,
Yeah, we like I said, we just ran into a really, really good
yeah,
defensive team,
we did.
and
We
we
got no
just like
con,
it.
we got no open shots, never got comfortable. Um,
Mm-mm.
you know, I mean,
No, yeah, we never got in a rhythm. We had so much trouble on defense. We couldn't really
right.
string together
They
stops.
had,
Like I said, it was just one of those games where everything that could if you had made a list before the game of like, okay, like these are all the bad things that could happen. They all did.
everything.
They all
Yeah,
happened, and you can survive one or two of them happening. You can't survive everything happening. You can't.
yeah.
It'd been one thing if Sears had an off night, but Grant
All right.
Nelson dropped 25, and Mo D had 18, and
All right.
Phylon had 20.
Fiveline had a pretty decent game, I'd say.
He did. He probably made himself some money, which I kind of hate because I want him to stay
Yeah,
next year,
I
but
don't know if we
it's
get to
tough.
see.
Yeah,
I don't know if we get to see Fine Crimson again. I don't know
yeah.
because
You
he.
really hope because if he does come back, but
But
yeah,
at the
let's go
same
ahead and look.
time, yeah, I mean,
Oh,
but just by him, just I don't know if he's necessarily a lottery player this year, but an extra year, for sure he's a top five pick
yeah.
next year. I would
Yeah,
say.
and hopefully, yeah, like maybe I guess if you're a Bama fan, I mean, obviously as player, we hope he does get his best payday, however he
Yeah,
gets it. If that's this year,
absolutely.
next year, whatever.
I
But
mean,
as a
if
Bama
it's
fan,
yeah,
yeah, if you're a Bama fan, if you want to be selfish, you hope he gets like maybe a late first round grade and
right,
gets convinced by an agent or the school parents, whatever, that he should stay in school for one more year and
right,
potentially be an All-American and
absolutely.
especially show what he can do as the
As the
star of the
man, as the
team.
guy of the team, yeah. I mean, and
Yeah.
that's the beauty of NIL. That's
Mhm.
the beauty, as much as people
Yeah.
hate it. I mean, that's the beauty of it is you get to see. I mean, you have the opportunity to bring folks back. I mean, without NIL, this season wouldn't have happened. Mark Sears is gone. Grant Nelson
Hmm.
doesn't come back. Like nobody's in school because everybody would have even took the chances of the second round. Um, so I mean, it was NIL. So it'll be interesting to see what um, who who stays, who goes. I mean, if we're gonna lose anybody that's bigger name or someone, it'll be interesting. Um,
Yeah. So if we are looking ahead, we know we're going to lose Sears and Nelson. Obviously, Chris
yeah,
Youngblood and Cliff
yeah,
Amore are
yeah.
all out of eligibility. So
Right,
those
they're out
guys
of
are all
time.
gone.
Right,
We obviously talked about Phylon. He's it
verge.
depends on the grade. What Yeah, it
He's
depends
on the
on what you
verge of being
read,
a
what
lottery
site you read.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's just say he's likely gone. Coming back next year, you could have Aiden Sherrill, Jaron
Yeah.
Stevenson is kind of our bigger guys.
Yeah.
Mo D, Darian Reed,
Yeah.
Houston Millette, Nas Cunningham as a younger guy that didn't get a lot of playing time this year.
Yeah. He redshirted, didn't
Yeah, I believe so.
he? Yeah.
Uh, and then of course there's Latrell Wrightsell, who missed a lot of this year with injury.
He has a
He's
chance
possible to
coming.
come back.
Right.
Aiden Holloway, I believe, has already said he'll be back, so
Yeah.
that's
I
that's
think
good
Sherelle
too.
said he was coming back too. Not that.
Also, and I saw something where Mo D said he'd like to come back, so I don't know if that is pretty much code for we'll see what the NIL does, I guess. But
Right.
I'd love to have him back. Obviously,
Oh,
we've talked about
absolutely.
it before. He is the heart
Absolutely.
and soul of this team.
Absolutely.
And then you got the freshmen coming in. You got
Yeah.
London Jemison,
Yeah.
Maria Allen, and Davion Hanna. Jemison, Allen, Jemison's more of a forward. Allen's kind of a wing guy. Then you
All
got
right.
Hannah's a guard. Of course, they're really well thought of recruits. And then of course there's a transfer portal. We've been
Yeah.
linked to at least we're
Yeah. So the
touring a
guy,
couple guys.
the
Yeah,
Kennesaw State guy from Tuscaloosa.
yeah,
There's
Adrian Woolley from a guard
yeah.
from Kennesaw State, but a big guard, a 6'5" guard. So
Right.
something
Oh,
we
that.
need length
Yeah,
at the
for
guard.
sure.
Yeah.
Um.
Noah Williamson, he's a big 7-footer from Bucknell.
Yeah. That would
I
be.
think.
Yeah. We're in his last four, I believe.
Yeah.
If
I've also
have
seen
a
us
chance. For what all
linked
that's
with
worth.
yeah, we'll see. I've seen us linked with Florida State forward Taylor Bull Bowen.
Yeah.
He's a big 6'10" dude. Seen us linked with LSU's Corey Chest. And then Miami, the guard from Miami, what's
I
his name?
saw that.
Bethea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll
We
see.
do.
Like you said,
And,
we'll see what happens in the transfer
all
portal.
right. I
We
mean,
obviously did great last year and
yeah,
last couple years, really.
we've done
Yeah.
really well. I mean, it's a player-friendly system. I mean, we're going to get people just because people can see themselves thriving in that type of offense. I mean, it's very player-friendly. I mean, it
Exactly.
leaves a lot up to
Yeah.
what the players want to do, and what today's player likes to do: shoot the ball. So, I mean, it's going to be open. But yeah, we definitely need to get as much length, height, more big bodies because we match up well. We were deep. We had more size than what we've had at times with Big Cliff there. But at the same time, man, there's certain teams that man they still look way bigger than us. Florida, Duke. I mean, they just look massive compared to us.
Yeah.
And
Well, the good
the
news in just real quick, all that stuff we just listed off there.
yeah,
The only guy under 6'5" on that potential roster is Aiden Holloway. So
yeah,
next year's team, much like
could
we
be
did this year, and getting Big Cliff to solve our inside problem, it looks like
right.
next year's team we could solve our length problem.
Yeah, that'd be great. Cause man, yesterday I don't know. It seemed like everybody on Duke is 6'8". I swear. They
It is
were
one of those frustrating losses but it wasn't like a mad frustrating. Some games kind of like the ending of the
yeah.
Tennessee
No, that
game or the
Tennessee
Ole
game.
Miss game.
Yeah,
That's frustrating in a way that pisses you off.
yeah.
Um,
Yesterday was
especially when you look at
frustrating
it,
for
yeah, through the lens of yeah. Yesterday was frustrating. To finish that point, sorry. Yesterday was frustrating because it was just you kind of started to feel hopeless. You're just like,
yeah.
you kind of hoped that maybe they'd have an off
Well,
game.
yeah,
Maybe you could get flag or what's their big dude's name in trouble, foul trouble.
right. And
And
Rick
we
did
actually did a good job with flag for a
yeah, we
while.
did. Like Knipple kicked our ass.
Yeah, that dude just wore us out, man.
Knipple and
Him and
the center.
yeah, the center, the big dude. What's his damn name?
And
Something. Yeah, also. But those two are the
he,
ones that really
dude, they
got
kept
us in
running that
trouble.
that fucking the alley oop,
Pick and
that
roll.
the pick
Yeah.
and
Oh,
the
that.
throw. Oh my god, they had so many easy buckets. I was like, golly,
Yeah, they really abused us. Our own ball defense yesterday was not good.
atrocious.
Yeah, and it led to a lot of, they really did a good job getting us
They
off
did.
switches. That seemed like a good coaching job. They had a good game plan, and they kind of it's kind of like when we a couple was it last season or season two ago when we beat Kentucky with that who was that big dude. Was it Owe or no, the other guy that was like the
No,
player of the year, and we went in
yeah,
and just attacked him on the pick and rolls and
right.
just
The
exposed his
dude,
weakness.
the foreign dude. Yeah,
Yeah, I felt a little bad. I feel like we cost him a damn NBA contract or at least big money, but
yeah.
yeah, it was kind of like that where it seemed like John Shire and the Duke staff really saw
They
something in
really
us
did.
and took advantage of it.
Yeah, and kudos to that man because I mean, probably some of the hugest shoes to fill, and I mean, he seems to really kept it going, and no drop off really.
Yeah.
I mean, they went to an Elite Eight last year in his first year, Final Four this year, and very much could be a national champion in year two. I
I about to say, yeah, yeah, exactly.
mean,
We talk about Nate Oates a lot, but yeah, John Shire has also really stepped up in just his couple seasons taking over for Coach
because I
K.
mean, you look at other spots where guys have the programs after their guy have really fallen off. I mean, you look at Villanova, you look at Syracuse, I mean, you look at Virginia. I mean, big names step away, and they've kind of hit a wall a little bit after their guy's gone, and Duke just has thrived. So
Yeah, good job by him. And, just to finish up on the Tide season, like we said, not a disappointing season. A little
no,
bit, because we definitely had expectations, or at least we
right,
knew the possibility of, we
right,
had the potential to be another Final Four
we
team.
did.
But it's so hard to get to the Final Four
Yeah, I
on
mean,
a
it's only four
consistent
teams do
level,
it.
consecutive
Only
years.
yeah.
Yeah.
Only four teams do it. Only one team cuts down the net, and yeah, I mean it's tough. I mean we're right there. We're knocking, but man, I don't know. You last year we played UConn. This year we played Duke. You realize you're right there, but it's something that you obviously don't have that keeps
Yeah.
you from.
And, Yeah, and you look back at missed opportunities. Maybe if we get that Tennessee win, that Ole Miss win late in the
Yeah,
year,
maybe get a one seed and we
we're
don't see Duke
yeah
till
we're
the
one seed,
national title
Final
game.
Four. Yeah, yeah. Maybe we get the favorable
Yeah.
draw, but again, as
Because
is, this is not
I mean,
a
looking
disappointing
around, yeah,
season
I was
overall.
thinking if we were a one seed, I mean, I think you look at the other two seeds. I mean, it was Tennessee. I think overall we match up well. I mean, obviously we should have beat them in Knoxville. We
Mm-hmm.
we kind of blundered that. So I think we could have beat them. I mean, Michigan State. I think we would have matched up okay with them. Um, so yeah, I mean, we definitely had our chances to be a one seed, and there's a couple games like the Ole Miss game, the Missouri game, and that Tennessee game. I mean, those are three games we probably should have at least won two of those.
Yeah,
And that might have been the difference between a one seed and very well could be us at least in the Final Four. I mean, I don't know if we'd be able to be, still Florida and Duke, but hey, we'd still be, at least be on top in San Antonio next week. But I mean, it's a what if thing. So I mean, we'll never know. But
yeah,
we just gotta move on there. But really the only thing that hurts a little bit is that Auburn made it back for the second
yeah. I was
time.
about to say, I was really hoping that today,
Ah,
we'd get a Tennessee and an Auburn loss and kind of
yeah.
ease our pain a little bit. And we got the
The
Tennessee one.
Tennessee
Houston
one, I mean,
dominated that game.
Houston. I was kind of shocked how easily Houston won that game.
Yeah, that held Tennessee to 15 first half points, but
Yeah,
we'll get to them in a second. Yeah, overall, yeah, like I said, and you mentioned too, great season. We're in a golden age of Alabama basketball. Only
absolutely.
the second time in program history we made it to the second weekend 3 straight years.
Yeah,
And next year we go for Bama history, make it four, and
yeah,
you know we'll see what happens with the roster
absolutely.
retention and changes. Who we bring in and all of that good stuff. But
Yeah,
again, you cannot you cannot really step back and look at this as a
that's
disappointment.
no,
In
because I
the
mean
grand scheme of things. Yeah.
because in the long history of Alabama basketball, we're doing things that have never been accomplished
Yeah.
in just continuous years. I mean, we've been the three straight Sweet 16s, two straight Elite Eights, Final Four last year, 4 or 5 years in the Sweet 16. I mean, we could have only hoped to have done that when we were in school. I mean, that would have been
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous. But you know, we're right there. And now that's the
Mm-hmm.
thing. Now the
Mm-hmm.
expectations start building up a little bit, and we'll see what we continue to do with the recruiting and this the NIL and transfer portal and keeping our guys that we do have and then adding to that. So I mean it's a challenge. It's a lot of still going to be a lot of good teams next year in the SEC. I mean we know it's packed full of good coaches. So I mean it's gonna be tough to stay up to, atop. But we obviously know how to do that. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got the right guy leading the program, and
absolutely.
we got him his contract last year.
Mhm.
And Greg
Every
Byrne,
now,
this is for
now I
you
will
once
admit, every
again.
now and again when certain things happen, you wonder, oh snap, It's-
Yeah, right. You worry about every NBA job opening you see.
yeah, or
When might
like
he
when
get the call? Or
all right, or when there's still certain programs you worry about, if North Carolina, with that situation, and long term they're probably going to make a move. If could he say no to North? You know what I'm saying, like a North Carolina program or something like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
you
It's
know,
hard. Hopefully, him and his family really love Tuscaloosa, and then
right? But
as I
that's
was
also the
saying,
beauty of the NIL and the transfer portal and everything is because
yeah,
blue
yeah,
blood programs still exist, but it's not as you have to be there to win. You
yeah,
don't necessarily have to
um,
be at the a blue blood to be a Final Four team, a competitor for a title, as we've seen.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, and who knows what's inside Nate Oates' head too? You know,
Right.
there's always the call to go to one of those premier blue blood programs,
Yeah.
but at the same time, maybe he's the kind of guy that knows that if he brings Alabama their first national title, then he's
He's
a
set.
legend at the school.
Yeah.
You know, he is
Maybe.
the face of the program
Right.
for ever how many
If
years
he's not
until
already.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
I mean,
But yeah, what I was saying though is Greg Byrne. Once again, we've said it many
yeah,
times before, but
you know, that's
build the
got to get
damn
figured.
arena.
That's got to get
Yeah,
figured out. Like,
yeah.
because I
I
mean,
mean,
we
just
should
yeah,
obviously taking basketball way more serious, but yeah, we definitely need to get that. Just because, yeah, it definitely needs to happen, and then they need to design it in a certain way that the students are on top of you more, more so. It seems like we're far away from the court.
yeah. No, yeah. Just build it. Just build it. There's no there. You can
Yeah,
only do so much with Coleman at this point. It's just kind of to me, it's a waste of money to do
yeah.
anything else to it.
I mean, it's super old. It's dated. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
it
a it's
seemed
a
older when we were there, and that's been forever now.
yeah, and yeah, exactly right. It was old when we were there, and that was 20 years ago. So.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like it feels like you're playing in an air hangar. You know,
right.
it's
Yeah.
just build the arena, get some new facilities in
I
there.
mean,
Really keep
I feel
giving
like
these kids
if Ole
a
Miss can build an
reason to.
arena recently,
Yeah,
there's no way, no reason why we don't have a newer one.
it's ridiculous. I don't care what cost you say. We're rich. We got money. Our boosters got money.
It's money there, and they're winning right now. You take advantage
Yeah,
while things are on top.
exactly. Yeah,
I mean, because I mean, a low fall off, and the that as we know, money gets tighter when things aren't at the peak. So,
yeah, and fans that support Alabama basketball fans have always been good. You know, that's a big
right.
misconception people have is it's a
That's it.
football
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, of
only
course,
school.
football's
Look,
king, but yeah, when the basketball program is hitting, people come out. I mean,
I was
there's
about to
been
say, yeah,
great.
we're a little bit front runners, but if you're putting a bad product out there, then yeah, the arena might be a little emptier, and but
Hmm.
if you putting out a product like Nate Oates has, a lot of excitement, fans love it, it's fun to watch.
I mean,
Give
people
them a
show
new
up.
arena, give them the modern amenities, give them a new arena, make it
Absolutely.
snazzy, make it sexy.
Yeah.
Get one more thing to get recruits and transfers in.
Absolutely.
And God forbid the day comes that Nate Oates does take that big job or the NBA or whatever.
No, you
Make it
gotta get the next guy in
make
there.
exactly make the program appealing for the next big coach.
Yeah.
But yeah, and speaking of which, we lost another assistant to Arkansas State
Yeah. Because
after our former assistant Brian Hodgson got a head coaching gig at
USF.
USF. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's we've spent almost half an hour on it now, but that's a great Alabama season. Disappointing end, particularly just the way it went down. It's one thing to lose; it's another to just kind of just be beat. But I guess
But
that's
I,
on the flip side. Yeah, it's better than losing a heartbreaker in the last minute or
yeah, I mean,
something like
I
that
would have
too.
much rather lose like how we did on like Texas Tech.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was tough.
Yeah. That's
That was
tough there.
tough. Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of, let's go to the rest of the tournament. There, we're
Yeah.
not the only other team in there. We have our Final Four now, and for only the second time in
All the
history,
one
it'll be
seeds.
all one seeds. Yep, Auburn, Florida, Duke, Houston.
Should
We
be
mentioned how Duke
phenomenal.
got there. We mentioned how Houston got there. Just absolutely dominated Tennessee today. 15 first half points. I don't know if we said that, but just absolutely shut down the Vols.
Yeah.
Florida played yesterday, and like we mentioned, there's tough one. Texas Tech was really at points dominating that game.
Yeah, man. I mean, they were up to what, 9 or 10.
12, yeah, they're around
Yeah.
10, and then Florida just flipped a switch and
Went on. Close. What is it? 18-4 run to close the game.
something like that. Yeah, just absolutely showed their might, showed why they're the other favorite. Along with Duke as the big favorites, and then
Yeah.
the second game today.
Clayton had a ridiculous his threes at the end,
Oh,
and
Clayton
Yeah.
and what's his name? Haig, Hog,
Yeah.
the Hawk, that
He
guy.
probably he had that three to really change the whole game after that.
Hmm.
And man, yeah, I really thought, man, Texas Tech was just about to pull this off. That's amazing. And then Florida said, not today, guys.
Yeah, after Texas Tech got a little bit of their own medicine after coming back from down 17 against Arkansas
Oh my goodness.
on
Oh yeah,
Friday or Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah, that was wild in itself
Yeah.
because I mean, it seemed like he, again that Cal was about to pull off another big one. Crazy enough, in
Hmm.
all his tournament history, that's the only time he's ever lost after leading six or more at halftime. He was 35-0
Mm,
going into that game. So
that's crazy.
that's crazy.
Yeah. But again, you got to be happy if you're an Arkansas fan there. I don't think they were even expected to get that
No,
far,
I
really.
mean, man, they
And
compared to
you
how it
know,
started, they definitely overachieved with what the expectations were. I mean,
yeah.
there was for a while even were they even gonna make the tournament?
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they really turned it around after a
Right.
terrible start to SEC play.
Yeah,
Um,
when they started like 1-5 or something, or
yeah, but
and
then
that when that winning at Rupp really changed their season around.
yes, yeah, it did. Um, and then you got Auburn, of course. Today they beat Michigan State. Did what they do. The game got a little bit close. A little bit sketchy there, and then they just kind of. Speaking of
Finish it
flipping
off.
switches, they just
Yeah,
they shut the other team down. Broom gets big points. They get clutch baskets, and they kind of kill.
yeah.
They're the ultimate run killing
Broom
team.
had a
Yeah, whenever.
huge day, and then I
Yeah.
mean, once he went out, I was like, oh wow, and they kept it at 10, and kept it,
Mm-hmm.
kept it. I think the closest Michigan State got may have been 6, but man, they really kept them at bay. I mean, anytime Michigan State had a run, yeah, Auburn just answered right back and said, oh, that was cute, but we're back to 10 now.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it really wasn't any in question. I mean, it was an interesting enough game, but yeah, I mean, they kind of dominated. And the interesting thing, that was the first time Izzo's ever lost to an SEC team in the tournament. So
Really?
yeah,
Yeah,
I,
that is.
yeah,
That's a weird stat. Yeah. And yeah, and now that's yet uh, another year without a Big Ten title.
yeah, yeah. It's
For
been since 2000, and
Michigan's,
that was
yeah,
Izzo,
the Tom Izzo's 2000 team,
the
yeah, continues to be
Flintstones.
the last Big Ten national champion. Yeah. Still just crazy to think about because there have been,
Some great
I
teams,
think generally we think the Big Ten's a little overrated in basketball,
but there's been some
but
great teams.
yeah, there's been a lot of great individual teams.
I mean, well,
And
they've had teams that been to the national title game and stuff. I mean, you got to look at like that Michigan team that lost to Louisville in the national title game. I mean, that was a hell of a Michigan team.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I mean, then you had the Michigan team that ran into the buzzsaw that everybody ran to that year with Villanova. I mean, no one was beating Villanova that year.
No, yeah.
Then when you look at like the '05 Illinois team, I mean, they lost the classic to North Carolina in the national title game. So, I mean, that was a hell of a
Mm-hmm.
team. So, I mean, it's
Yeah,
been,
and another stacked North Carolina team too.
right.
That that starting
Yeah.
five was
Yeah. I mean, ridiculous. And then you had, Michigan State's been to the Final Four countless times. Since over that period. It seems like Izzo's always in the Elite Eight or the Final Four. Comes up
mm-hmm.
short, of course, but I mean, just he's consistently going deep in the tournament for whatever that's worth. But,
Yeah, yeah. So that's another year. So after seeing what we've seen in tournament, do you have a national title pick, or any one of these four teams really jump out at you?
you know, I mean, I'm gonna stick with what I thought. I mean, I'm just still thinking Florida. I mean, if we get a Duke Florida national title game, I mean that's gonna be epic. Would be
Yeah.
an epic game. I mean, not to count out either Auburn or Houston, because I mean they could either, they could win it. Um, win as well. And the other interesting thing is, whoever does win the title will be their first national title for either for the coaches, of course. Bruce Pearl and Kelvin Sampson, much of course much longer in the game than the other two. But because Kelvin and Bruce have been coaching for a while now, so
Yeah, that's yeah, guys that have been around for a good time. Bruce Pearl was a coach when UW Milwaukee upset
yeah,
us back when
that
we
was
were in
a
school, right? Yeah,
yeah, I didn't even know who the hell he was, but yeah, he's been an asshole ever since. He
yeah.
went to then he been at Auburn. Well, then he went to Tennessee, and then he's been at
Tennessee,
Auburn.
yeah,
Like Jesus, he's just been a thorn in our side for a long time.
yeah, uh, yeah, exactly. And then of course, Kelvin Sampson. We've talked about
Yeah, he's been.
his past and his problems, and then now his redemption. And
Yeah,
if I were to, my pick in the pool is Houston. I was the only person in there to pick Houston to win it, and
hmm
they have looked good to me. They're like we said, they're defensively as good as they always are
but
under Sampson, but they
but
have
do they
the
have do
offense
they
when they
have a
need to this year.
but man, I don't that size matchup with Duke is gonna be a problem.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. After seeing that Duke team firsthand, man, that might be my pick to win it now. They're so good, and I think that they could.
Yeah, I mean, I
When they
think
go
he
up against
kind of
Florida and that
yeah,
talent, man, I think Cooper Flag might be the
as
could
good
be
as
the
advertised.
yeah, definitely for sure. But he could be the key in that game against Florida. I don't think
Yeah,
Florida's got a lot of great players. I don't know if they have anyone that good.
yeah, because they got a lot of length, but yeah, they don't have the not anybody as talented. Not that anybody as talented, and to think that he should still be in high school is even more ridiculous. He just
Yeah,
turned 18.
crazy.
How the hell is he that
Yeah,
big? It fucking just turned 18. Dude,
right.
dude's neck is like he's a offensive lineman.
He is not given what's his face Adam Morrison vibes where he might get to the league and just get
No,
beat up by grown men. Yeah, no,
no,
this guy is going to get in
he's
and hold
already
his
a
own.
grown man.
Yeah.
Just turned 18, and it's ridiculous. He
Hmm.
just, yeah. I mean, he's been everything that he was advertised to be coming in the season, and then some. And for all the talk that they didn't really face challenges because the ACC was down. I don't think it really mattered what the ACC would have been. I
Hmm. Yeah. Um,
almost wonder how they even lost to Clemson, honestly.
yeah. Right. Especially after Clemson's performance in this tournament.
I mean, even if as good as Clemson, even without that performance, I mean, they don't have near the size. Like, I mean, everybody has an off day, but yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, that should have been their only loss since November when they lost to Kentucky and Kansas. So that was in
Hmm.
like November.
Yeah, it's
You
insane
know,
how they
just
are. Like I said,
dominant
they
team.
kind of changed my mind there. They've just been really, really good. I thought, trying to build up hope in myself
Yeah,
before the game. What I kept telling myself was maybe, the ACC, it's not that good this year. Maybe they're just a paper giant. Nah,
there.
they're the real deal. Yeah.
This might. Yeah, I mean this. I mean, they really have no weakness on that team.
Mm-mm.
And, honestly, towards the end of Coach K's tenure, it seemed like there was a lot of talent, but they didn't. They were kind of soft.
Yeah, and
I don't
yeah,
see that.
you've mentioned that before. They didn't have that signature toughness, but
This team seems to have it. It seems to be
yeah, they're
more.
tough. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of course, all the all this talent in the world, all the McDonald's All American. I mean, it's not the old school Duke where they have Steve Wojo type of guy that probably is not the greatest, but just tough. I mean, they've kind of gotten away from that, but yeah, as tough as the stars can be, and they clearly have a boatload of them, and I think they're yeah. I mean, they're Yeah, they definitely have no weaknesses. I mean, you look and the Zion team was good, but you saw weaknesses. You saw different holes they had. Of course, they, failed at that Duke team with Pablo Ventura was good. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
they couldn't beat Carolina to save their lives at the end.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, this team doesn't seem to have too many, if any, flaws. And when they, even when they turned the ball over against us, I mean, it seemed with more their mistakes than anything we were doing to cause their turnovers. They were getting cute and doing too much
Mm-hmm.
at times. There wasn't necessarily anything we were doing to stop them.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. I guess once again, though, even in defeat, Grant Nelson one more time got himself a highlight.
Man, did he?
Last year it was the dunk over the big guy. This year he just absolutely stuffed Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
Cooper Flag has not and will not be stuffed like that again. Maybe except going up against a Wembanyama, one of the big dudes in NBA. But
Man, no.
he might have a welcome to the NBA moment. But man, it was a great hustle play by Grant, and
But
he
one
just
thing,
absolutely denied a dunk by Flag. Yeah.
absolutely. And one thing, Grant, he definitely had a certain toughness this year at times. He disappeared
Mm-hmm.
for a little bit. But when he's in right focus, he's a pretty tough dude. Like you can tell he has a certain pride in what he does and the confidence in who he is. And he would, that didn't really shock me at all that happened. Just because that's just in big moments he seems to do big things. Like he's done that at his time in Tuscaloosa. So
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's no telling on the NBA prospects of him and Mark Sears, but I can guarantee if you get them, those are two guys who are going to give you everything they got.
absolutely,
And yeah, the Dakota Durant, he's good for some hustle, some gritty plays. Yeah, like you said, the consistency's not always there with him, but it's not for lack of effort.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, let's move on to the women. Speaking of heartbreaking ends, oh man,
Jeez.
tough to get more heartbreaking than the Lady Tide. Speaking, themselves blew a big league against Maryland.
17-point
Yeah,
lead. I
17
was
point lead.
man. I
Yeah.
thought, man, we're going to the Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
Man, yeah, but Maryland's a good team. I mean, as we saw, I mean, after they beat
Mm-hmm.
us, I mean, they gave South Carolina everything they could have wanted,
Everything they could have wanted. Yeah.
and that almost makes me wonder: could we have given South Carolina? I don't know, but could we have?
Yeah.
I mean, for one day only, who knows? And it would
I
have been
tell
in
you what, you
Birmingham too.
anytime you get 45 from our girl,
Oh my God, was that a
Sarah Ashley
performance of a
Baker.
lifetime?
Yeah.
He put up
Wait,
Barker.
yeah.
Yeah, she
Barker.
put
Yeah, not
up
Baker. Yeah.
put up numbers, and then the free throws. I was please hit all three of these.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, if you didn't watch it, so we blew the lead in regulation. Had a chance to win toward the end too. Maryland got a forced a miss from Maryland. They got a offensive rebound tap out, and their star just made a clutch 3-point shot. Just drilled it too. I barely touched the net. And then so we go to overtime. It looks like they got us, and Barker puts up a three, gets fouled with like 0.8 seconds left or
Yeah,
something crazy.
half hit all three to.
Yeah, has to hit all three. There, no more pressure filled situation than you got 3 free throws and you need to make them all to force a second overtime.
And
She does, no problem.
ice in her
Ice cold,
veins.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then a tough, overtime period, back and forth, and we got down late. Had a chance toward the end, couldn't get a shot off, and then
No. Yeah, those last couple of sequences are kind of frustrating.
yeah, it was
We
good
had
defense
no,
by the Terps,
yeah,
but yeah,
we really didn't have any good play. And the other thing too, man, if we had
losing. Yeah, I know what you're about
if
to
we
say.
had
Go ahead.
had the foul trouble though, man, if Leah Nye and Green had been able to stay in the game, because they were gone before even overtime. I mean, I mean,
Yeah.
that's buckets that we missed out on. But yeah, I mean, it sucks because I mean, we were right there to go to the Sweet 16 on the road too. I mean, it was a big crowd for a Monday afternoon.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah. Those if you don't watch women's game, all the first weekend,
At
they're
the
broken
strength,
up. Yeah, the
weird
to home
times.
sites for.
Yeah.
But tough loss, like I said. Great, absolutely legendary performance by Barker. She
Absolutely.
ends her career as Birmingham native. Started her career at Georgia, came over to Bama a couple
Yeah.
seasons in Tuscaloosa, and absolutely leaves herself as one of the
Yeah.
premier
But
players
yeah,
in the program's history.
her
Yeah.
and Aaliyah and I brought Alabama to a different level that I don't think people thought
Hmm.
was possible. I mean, they both came
Yeah.
in as transfers and had three amazing seasons in Tuscaloosa, more or less. I mean, going to, and I mean, now the tournament, of course, is almost guaranteed type thing. I mean, because we're gotten to
Hmm.
that level, and it's just a matter of getting to the elusive second weekend.
Yeah, that second weekend, we of course we've praised the job Christy Curry has done.
Yeah,
She's really got this program into the right place, and like we said, that's
right.
the next step.
Yeah,
We did step one this year. We got that big win over one of the big premier teams
big
in
dogs
basketball.
beat,
Got that.
beat LSU.
Yeah, you got that LSU, and now it's tournament time. Get that second
Yeah,
weekend, and hopefully we can find a star like Barker
yeah.
to
We
step
are
up
getting,
next. But
yeah. I
mhm,
mean, the good thing is though, you would hope, there's somebody that saw that performance and like, well, she transferred in. Maybe I could be that
mhm,
next,
ex-
the
e-
next person that
exactly, yeah.
transfers in and comes a star. I mean, we do have, I think, Miss Alabama as far as high school basketball coming in to Tuscaloosa, so that's good. I mean, no longer, we're more of a place that people might actually be interested in coming to now. So that's huge
Exactly.
there. Because I mean, the SEC
No,
women's is not going anywhere. I mean, there's so many
no,
good teams, so many
absolutely
good
not. And
teams.
another reason, Mister Greg Byrne, to build an arena.
Absolutely,
Get it done. Get the ladies. Get the women's program that nice facilities too.
absolutely.
It goes both ways. But yeah, and elsewhere in the tournament, we mentioned South Carolina. They did hold off Maryland and made their way to the Final Four eventually. What, the fifth straight Final Four for them?
Fifth straight Final Four.
Yeah.
A little tougher than I thought it was gonna be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
After us, after we, I was like, well, we're decent, but South Carolina, you wondered if they were gonna just house Maryland. No, I mean
Mm-hmm.
Maryland hung with them. I mean, very pro
Yeah, you
South
especially
Carolina
didn't
crowd in
know.
Birmingham, and
Yeah.
they hung. And then I was shocked about today, honestly. I thought they were gonna beat Duke pretty handily because Duke and North Carolina game. I mean, I was at work during that game, so I didn't catch much of it. And I was like, man, is that like? Because I forgot today was start. I was thinking 2:30 and it started at 1:30. So I'm looking at the score and finally getting able to catch them in it. I'm like, oh, I thought it was about halftime with that score, and it was almost game
Yeah.
over.
That was a rough offensive performance by those two. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then UCLA, they are the other team that's clinched a spot, their first
yeah,
ever Final Four on the women's side of things.
yeah. First
And
ever.
then tomorrow we'll settle the other two spots, USC and UConn. Of course, USC, unfortunately, without Juju, just tough.
That's
Yeah,
terrible.
terrible injury. You hate to see that shit.
Oh,
And then Texas and
battle with
TCU for the other
Texas.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one.
Oh man.
Like we said, both of those games
Yeah.
tomorrow
Just the
or
turnaround
Monday
of
as you listen to
TCU.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the turnaround of TCU's been crazy. Their coach, the year before, I think this is his third year. I think they won 8 games,
Mm.
and now they're on the verge of their first ever Final Four. Beat a great Notre Dame team to even get to this spot.
Yeah.
So, man,
Um,
that should be a good one tomorrow. And I don't know on
yeah.
that other side. I mean, without now, if it were Juju there, but I don't know if they could beat UConn without Juju. And Paige put
Especially
up
the way that, yeah, especially the
a
way she's
crazy
playing. Drop
performance.
drop 40
40.
herself.
Yikes. She's on a mission. And she's
Yeah,
already announced that she's going pro. I mean, don't blame her all the injuries she's had. But yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
right.
she's on a mission.
Go
I
go
mean,
get paid.
she's on a
Um,
mission to get that title before she goes.
yeah. Let's see though. But yeah, it should be fun. Watch those games. Watch the Final Four next weekend.
I mean,
Should be a
we
lot of
should
great
have some
basketball.
great Final Fours on
Yeah,
both sides. I mean, just phenomenal basketball.
yeah. Um, and then wrapping up our basketball talk before we go, move on.
All the
Um,
coaches changes are
yeah, I was about
wild.
to say a lot of coaching change. We mentioned, of course, losing Arcet and Ryan Pannone to Arkansas State because Brian
Yeah,
Hodgson, excuse me, moved on to USF. We got Will Wade leaving McNeese State. He is now NC State's coach.
yeah,
You got Sean Miller leaving Xavier for Texas.
yeah.
We got, of course, a controversial one announced today, but old Kevin Willard, all that talking he was doing and talking about Maryland
That
needing
was
to support NILs and all that.
that was a terrible. Like there was,
Yeah,
I think of that speech is like, yeah, he's definitely not staying in.
yeah. And now
Now
he
he's
is
at
gone. Yeah, he is
Villanova.
Villanova's new coach. Yeah.
And talking about Xavier, they got
Richard Pitino. Yeah.
now he'll see his dad every year. That'd be interesting.
Oh, that's true.
Both in
Yeah,
the
those
Big
are Big
East.
East foes. Yeah.
That'll be
Um,
interesting.
let's see a couple of interesting ones. Sacramento State, a familiar name for people in our generation, especially, but Mike Bibby,
Yeah,
a
it's
new
a
coach for the Hornets there.
interesting hire.
And let's see, Miami got a new coach, Jai Lucas.
From Duke, yeah,
Yeah,
with John
out of Duke.
Lucas's son.
Yeah, Iowa, Ben McCollum is in. Fran McCaffrey's
Great.
out after, yeah,
And
long.
then McCaffrey went to his alma mater. He went to Penn.
Yeah, uh, Penn Quakers. See, that looks like all the interesting ones I know. Let's see, programs without a coach right now looks like West Virginia, UC San Diego after their great season. Their coach
He's in New Mexico now.
was is that where he went? Yeah, I was looking
Yeah.
to see where he
He
landed.
took over
Yeah.
Patino's job. And that's interesting, all the
Okay.
coaching changes of teams that made the tournament. That was very interesting. You don't see that much.
Mm, no, yeah.
That turnover. And then, of course, now Maryland has to find a coach, and the big talk is that Buzz Williams is might go to Maryland. So then that will be the Aggies looking for a coach.
Interesting. Yeah, that'd be an interesting one there. Yeah. So yeah, that's the next stage we're in here, watching the Final
Yeah.
Four, and just kind of pay attention to see if any of these coaching dominoes
And
fall.
then all the people in I think it's like 700 people in the transfer portal right now.
Yeah, it's a big one. That'll be the big thing coming up after the Final Fours. We'll see that roster movement.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot.
Name of the game now.
Yeah,
Let's see. Staying in college real quick. Bama sports. Good week for baseball and softball.
yeah.
Both got midweek wins over North Alabama, and both took 2 or 3 in their SEC
Yeah.
series at the weekend.
That's
Baseball
huge.
took it from Oklahoma. Softball took it from Georgia.
Yeah, I mean that was huge. I mean, especially we're down. The softball was down 4-1 today, and that third came back, got the win.
Yeah.
First SEC series win, and it kept Georgia from getting their first ever win in Tuscaloosa, which is interesting. But
Crazy. Yeah.
good to keep
So
that
that they
streak alive.
moved to. Yeah, softball moves to 25-13 on the year.
Yeah,
This week they have a doubleheader Wednesday, Sanford and Alabama State,
yeah.
and then at LSU next weekend. Baseball moves to 25-4 on the year, looking like it again a potentially special year.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's
And then
already our second SEC series win, and for a while, I mean, we weren't seeing that till the end of the season.
Yeah,
And we're
no.
still in March. I mean, we're still in March. So yeah.
Yeah, they they also have Samford midweek, and then they are on the road also at Auburn next weekend. So yeah, another tough SEC play. And then just rounding up the rest of sports. Of course, it was opening weekend in Major League Baseball. Your Yanks just absolutely
House
the Bronx Bombers in full.
man.
With
Hopefully
that new
that
torpedo bat or whatever.
right. A little controversy, I guess, but yeah, I mean,
I guess I got a notification date says the Braves have already placed an order for some. So I guess at the very least
that's
they'll be around this year. We'll
right.
see.
See how long, but yeah, I mean, the hot commodity, you would think. Hopefully, we didn't
Yeah,
use up all our home runs in the first, and the
yeah,
first. But yeah, it was a good start to the year. But of course, the beauty of baseball, you can only get so up or down because I mean, we still have what 164 game, 164 5 games left. So we'll shoot.
yeah. Um, yeah. The less said about the Braves opening weekend, the better. Just a terrible. Only 18 hits over a 4-game sweep loss to the Padres.
Mm,
Yeah, rough first weekend for them.
yeah, it's tough.
And then, yeah. But long season. Good thing about baseball.
Detroit
NBA news.
baseball.
The Grizzlies, a playoff bound team, but fired their coach.
Fired the coach. Well, it'd be
Yeah.
interesting once we hear the story behind that one, because who does that
Yeah.
this time? There's got to be way more to it. It's definitely way more than wins and losses, because that's a
Yeah.
dangerous thing to do. So obviously it was something with the players. Obviously something big, because you don't do that this deep into the year.
No, yeah. Definitely. Yeah, it was a weird notification because in my head I was kind of thinking it was last year. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. You know, they had a terrible year, but then I kind of like snapped back to it. I was like, wait a minute, they're like the
The
5 seed,
fifth
6 seed, something right
yeah,
now.
the
Yeah,
fifth
yeah,
seed right now. What are they doing? Yeah, it'll
yeah.
be
So
interesting once
like you
we
said,
find out the truth or what's the reason
yeah,
behind it. Because,
it-
yikes!
there's got to be something. Yeah, got to be something. NFL offseason, a little bit of a quieter week, but a couple big things. Stephon Diggs finally signed with the team, the Patriots. So,
That's
what's his name? Drake May's got his deep threat there. Of course, Diggs coming off an ACL injury, so we'll see how he
See how he
recoups
rebounds.
there. And then after signing Jameis Winston, the Giants went out and signed Russell Wilson. So it looks like, I mean, a quarterback could definitely still be in their draft plans, but maybe it's a later round pick, a project guy or something like that, or maybe they just want to wait till next year or
Yeah, who knows?
see
Who
that. And
knows?
then I think we talked about last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it actually first happened, but the Packers, of course, put forth I guess some proposal or whatever to ban the tush push, and apparently I was reading something today where it's kind of gaining some steam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that. I saw a little blip on that on their own. Kind of
Yeah,
shocked. I mean, I don't.
I don't think it's whatever. Who cares?
Is it really? I mean, because really, I mean, the only teams that really use it a lot is Philly, of course, and then Buffalo
Yeah.
started to use it a lot more. But it's not that.
Yeah, and a
I
couple
don't
teams
know.
have like kind of packages with it where, like the Ravens and Chiefs both line up, put their tight ends in there and kind of push, and it's been proven, that some people have said it's an injury thing, but it's been proven that there are really no injuries when it happens.
It's
And
never been an injury
yeah,
from
and
it.
if as far as it being automatic unfair, these things have happened before, and then eventually someone will figure out an adjustment to it and
Oh yeah.
mitigate. You remember when the Wildcat took over the NFL and
Yeah.
everyone, oh my
Yeah.
God, it's unstoppable, and then what? Coaches figured it out. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, there we go.
Yeah,
They're
because
pros.
Miami was
They
running the
yeah,
Creighton for a lot for a
they
little bit
almost
with Ronnie Brown.
exclusively, yeah,
Yeah.
like exclusively him and Cadillac. Even though Cadillac was injured a lot in those days. But yeah, yeah. So that's some NFL, some college football news. Coach Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, got a big extension from Colorado.
I don't know if we talked about it much. His interesting thing about actually playing a spring game against an opponent, and then the Syracuse coach Fran Brown was like, "Hey, come out to Boulder and play you guys in the spring," which would be interesting. I mean, more of an NFL thing because, of course, teams practice each other all weekend
Preseason, yeah.
and play, on the weekend. So I mean, it's no new idea, but for college, I mean, I don't know. I don't think the NCAA would have to approve that, but that would somewhat be
They no,
interesting.
they actually would have, and they have already shot it down. Actually,
And then
in
of course,
typical
they did.
NCAA fashion, yeah, take something that has some potential, and why not?
Yeah.
Especially if those are those free games. Now, the only negative to that would be if you started charging for a spring game, then
Right.
that's bullshit. But if those are the games we talked about it with, so many teams canceling their spring games. It's really great for those people who can't afford tickets or
Right.
can't afford to get there
Yeah.
during the regular
This is
season,
their
but you can
time.
take your family. It's
Yeah.
usually, usually they have a lot of fan related stuff to go along with it that day.
Yeah.
And, it's always A-Day weekend's always big in Tuscaloosa. They usually have like a softball game early in the day.
Yeah.
It's a big
Well,
baseball weekend.
a
Uh,
lot of players
so,
come back and enjoy it.
yeah, they, have the fan signings, autograph sessions, etc., meet and greets. So,
But it seems like, I don't know. It seems like the way it's going, that spring game is on the way out completely. I mean, we're even changing ours to like a 90-minute scrimmage more than, or not even
yeah.
a real game feel to it. And of course, not on TV at all. So if you're not there, you can't really
Yeah, I mean,
watch it. But
this.
just, I don't know. I think it's a lot of people being really so worried about the portal and everything. But honestly, it's about, people will see it. But you have to think, coaches are in that stadium. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously.
right.
I mean,
There's going to be
there's
scouts.
gonna
Yeah,
be
there are
someone's gonna
scouts there.
see.
Yeah.
I mean, someone's gonna see it. People are gonna know who the good players are. I mean, it's not a big secret. Like, I don't get that. Oh, we're gonna lose players because someone's gonna have a big day at spring day in the spring game, and then they're gonna get picked up in the portal. Um, I mean, they're gonna know about it regardless. So I don't. That was the dumbest argument to me. But
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree.
because if someone's gonna go, they're gonna go. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, no, coaches have long hated the spring games. They would rather just have practice and practice but it's another, another item in a long list of things that NCAA and college football does that kind of just does not in no way, shape, or form is good for the fans. Another
no,
thing,
another
kind of a
thing.
middle finger to
Yeah.
fans. Yeah.
In addition to tickets going up every year and to help pay the NIL and yeah.
Yeah. Let's see some hockey stuff. Alex Ovechkin is now 5 away
5
from breaking
away.
a record. He scored 890, 4 away from tying, 5 away from passing Wayne Gretzky's all-time mark. And the Frozen Four was settled this weekend. It will be Denver, Western Michigan, Penn State, and Boston U.
Right.
Of course, BU a
Us-
regular at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Championships. I'm not sure about the other.
I think Denver has been there.
I think Denver's won it before. Yeah, I've seen their name. I'm actually trying to look up the history now. Let's see results here. Team titles. Denver is actually, yeah, shows what we know. They are actually the most prolific team in the history of college hockey. 10 national titles, more than
I
anybody
know.
else.
Yeah, for my lack of
They
college
are,
knowledge,
yeah.
that's one thing that I've constantly heard the name.
They
Yeah.
are actually the defending champs,
Oh,
and also won in 2022 and 2017 recently.
it's a pretty dominant.
they had a big lull. So yeah, they won 5 titles between 58, 69, and then didn't win another one until 04 and 05.
Mm.
And then, like I said, they've won 2 of the last 3 and another one in 2017. Who else did I say is in it? Boston UBU, they've won 5. I know that. Is my grandfather's alma mater.
Nice.
It was actually on my list of
Schools?
final schools too, and then once I got that acceptance letter from Alabama, I just said, all right, that's where I'm going.
All right.
And who else did I say? Western Michigan and Penn State, right? Let's see.
Yep.
I do not see no national titles for either of those teams.
Yeah, it seems like that seems kind of the outliers and teams you don't hear much about in Frozen
Let's see.
4.
Penn State looks like they have made, what is this? The quarterfinals. So that's something they made. I believe this might be their first ever Frozen 4 in school history. Let's see.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is their first ever Frozen 4 in school history. So they've actually only previously, including this year, made 4 tournaments overall. So,
So they're new to this.
Yeah, not a big tradition there. Let's see. Western Michigan, they also their first Frozen 4.
Nice.
More successful tournament team overall than Penn State, but so there you go. You got you got the all-time winning, most national title team in Denver. You got another classic, BU team, one of the tops in the sport.
Yeah.
And then you got
guys.
2 guys looking for the thing. The matchups are Penn State versus BU and Denver versus Western Michigan. Western Michigan, coincidentally, the only seeded team in the Frozen 4.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, as the way that it's only a 16-team tournament.
How many teams? I've never really known this. How many teams actually have? I guess hockey teams actually can be contend for that, because I know like Alabama, Auburn have club teams, but they don't gonna actually compete in the level they can play in the tournament. But
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot Alabama's got. I think that's what it's looking at here. That was Penn State for a while. They had a club team for a long time and
moved up to the.
Yeah, moved up to it. So maybe that's why they don't have much of the history there. But in Division I hockey, that's when I'm trying to look how many teams there are.
And that's the other thing. They don't have traditional conferences either. They have
it's a different. Let's see. There are really only 64 teams in college hockey. Oh wow, yeah, okay.
Very limited.
So, yeah, very very limited. So, but yeah, that's always it's something I always catch on TV though. It's usually fun hockey. Yeah,
right. The UNO team, they have hockey history and come close to the Frozen 4 a couple of times, but they've been pretty successful.
Yeah, I was, like I said, I was, growing up playing hockey, of course, always like watching the sport, and I'd always catch the Frozen 4 when it was on TV.
I mean, it's usually a good game, man. Entertainment.
Yeah,
that's one thing.
It's passionate. Yeah,
that's one thing about hockey. Like, you may not know much about it, but man, if you come in and watch the playoff or a Frozen 4, you're gonna be entertained, even if you don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's definitely. I always, we got a lot of our friends growing up that particularly girlfriends and female friends, etc. Have never really gotten into hockey. We got them to our games or took them to, used to be a minor league team in Baltimore. A live hockey is just so exciting.
Oh man,
it's
live
just
hockey
so fun.
is
Energetic.
super
but
cool.
then the best thing that ever happened to hockey for as a sport, as far as television, was HD. The not just the invention of HD TV, but the it getting to the point where it was standard and everybody has an HD because it made the game so much easier to follow on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Oh,
it
absolutely.
was, in the days of standard definition, it was a really hard.
Yeah.
If you're old enough, you remember Fox trying to experiment with a glowing puck. They
Yeah,
did
the red
something on
puck. Yeah,
TV. Yeah.
like the red dye.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and then, it had the little comet tails when it got
Mm-hmm.
shot, too. And, so the HDTV being able to
Didn't
clearly
hurt.
keep up with the game and see things is
Yeah.
really, because it is a fast game, man.
Yeah. Very fast.
Yeah, and especially, the higher levels, it just becomes lightning fast. And if you don't know what you're looking to keep up with, yeah, it can be a turn off. But yeah, if you're just looking for some good competition, passionate teams, check out a Frozen 4 game. They
Yeah.
really go at it.
You'll
A bunch
love.
of
I mean,
college
you'll
kids.
enjoy.
Yeah.
If you like competition, I mean, yeah. I mean, you don't have to know what the hell's going on. You'll be entertained. I mean, for a couple hours, it's well worth the watch.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's all of my notes. Anything from the world of sports you want to touch on?
I think we talked about everything I could think of.
Yeah, that's all I got. So that said, done up real good time. I'm going to go ahead and give ours to, you can say something else if you want to, but I think just this generation of Alabama basketball, and, seniors like Mark Sears, and of course,
Yeah.
guys that came in just in the last year or two, but, saying goodbye to Big Cliff and Young Blood, and of course the Dakota Durant, Grant Nelson. If you're a longtime Alabama basketball fan, it's really hard to state,
Yep.
how just special these past few years have
Oh,
been.
absolutely. I mean, starting back in that first 2021 season, I mean, we had no expectations that season. And then, that first one was like, man, that's pretty cool. And then,
Yeah, the
we
Herb
had
Jones led,
I mean, that was
SEC
fun. I mean, that was
regular and
fun.
tournament title.
I mean, that was fun, but I was like, it seemed really, kind of outlier, kind of, flukish a little bit. It was hell great and it's fun. But and then we had the down season in 22 with the injuries, and we lost. Was it Notre Dame smoked us after
Yeah, in that first
JQ
round
got
game.
hurt? Yeah, after JQ got hurt, we got smoked, and then to come back and right back at it. Get back to another Sweet 16 with Brandon Miller, and then
Yeah.
and then last year the Final Four. And oh, man, yeah, and then Elite Eight this year. We ran into a buzzsaw with Duke, but man, still, I mean, and the bad thing is no that Sweet 16 game will never really be talked about because of how the Duke game happened. But
Yeah.
that game was just amazing. Like nothing, it seemed like they could have shot from anywhere, and it was going down. Like it was just crazy. Just everything was going down, and that's kind of what we needed against Duke to make that special upset there. We need
Yeah,
more of
we used
that.
up
More of that
all our
magic.
juice on Thursday.
We did. But I mean, that was so fun. It was man, it was amazing watching that. But
Yeah. So, but again, we understand if you need a couple days, the way it ended,
yeah,
to get on the right side.
it's
But
tough.
yeah, take a
It's
step
tough.
back, look at the big picture, and just realize that we're in the middle of a special, special time for
Yeah, we definitely are.
Alabama basketball. And hey, the future is still bright, and who knows? Maybe
Absolutely.
we got even better days ahead of us. Hopefully.
Maybe so. Hopefully, one day we'll cut down our own nets.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right on the
Yeah.
cusp.
Just looking for.
I mean,
Let's see.
at the end of the day, I mean, we lost to Duke in the Elite Eight. I mean, there's no shame in losing to a basketball. I mean, they're the us of what we are in football the most. They're kind of that team. you know. So it's no shame in losing to Duke in the Elite Eight for what it's worth. I mean, so
No, yeah. Yeah, next year the goal is to get to Indianapolis. That's Final Four
absolutely.
up there at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Hmm.
Let's see where some of these regionals are next year. Houston South Regional. Yeah, that's not too bad. San Jose, the West. Chicago, the Midwest. And D.C. is the East Regional next year. Let's see some of these early round sites. Buffalo, Greenville, Oklahoma City, Portland, Tampa, Philly, San Diego, and St. Louis. Um, yeah. Let's see when this next time is coming to Birmingham. 2028. First
28.
and second round in Birmingham, yeah.
Man, well, Birmingham's
Get
definitely
me.
seen some good ball this weekend.
Yeah, it did. Absolutely. Yeah, need to get one of those regionals here in Birmingham. That'd be nice on the men's side.
On the men's side. Man, can you
Yeah, that'd be
imagine Chuck
nice.
in Alabama and Birmingham? Oh, that'd be
Oh,
wild.
that'd be great. Both a scary sight for fans who believe in the Birmingham curse, and also
Mm,
but a
yeah,
good home court advantage for any Alabama team, though.
yeah.
But yeah, that does it for us, folks. We will see you next time. Thank you, as always, for listening. Subscribe, rate, like, all that. Tell your friends, tell your rich friends. Throw a little sponsorship at us if you want.
Hey, we
Check. Hey, yeah, we'll do it.
always happy for them.
Yeah, don't threaten us with a good time. As always, check out the AlabamaTake.com for the whole family of Alabama Take podcasts, as well as some good writings up on the site, as always. Keep it done up real good yourselves out there, folks. This time next week, I'll be coming to you from... Actually, I don't know if I'll be in New Orleans yet. I actually think I will still be... I don't think we leave till Monday. So, yeah, shouldn't have any connectivity problems. I don't know if you guys remember that championship game episode last year, but that connection was rough for me. It did not sound good. So, yeah, we at least should get one more episode in before our usual spring hiatus. But, yeah, I'll, of course, keep y'all updated on the socials. Follow us everywhere for that. Wait, I know what we have talked about. Our bracket challenge here. Let's see. I know I was looking good with Houston.
I shot up a
There were a
little
couple.
bit.
Yeah, let's
I
see
was toward the
here.
bottom at the first couple of days. I had all the huge upsets. It didn't happen, and that was tough. And I
Didn't. Yeah.
got a little better. I still got two final. I think I had most of the Elite Eight, but then I went with the homer pick. I had us beating Duke and then losing to
Me
Houston.
too. Yeah, and that definitely hurt me.
Yeah,
So I think everyone else here, I think in the it
because
still is.
I got two.
ESPN's got this. Oh, go ahead.
Because I had two. I know I have two Final Four teams because I had Michigan State beating Auburn. And I don't know if that was more of a homer thing too or not, but uh,
No, I know I got three because, like I said, I had Alabama beaten, but I think everyone else. So I don't know who these people are. Actually, I think I might know one, but number one right now is someone we need Mo D.
nice.
They, I believe, did have all four.
They got all four right.
Yeah, they got all four right, and they have Florida over Duke in the title game.
So they
I
have a
have,
chance of having a
yeah, I have.
plethora of points.
They do. I have Houston over Florida, so yeah, I think I need Houston to win it to
to win.
get me, the win. And then let's see, Cuthbert. Oh, that should be my friend Joe here, Joseph Cuthbert here. Joe Cohen, actually, it should be. Let's see. Pretty sure that's who this is. They have the correct Final Four as well. They have Auburn over. No, they do not have the Final Four. They had Tennessee getting in, so they had 3 of 4. They have Auburn winning the title. And
That's just one thing we can't have happen. I'm sorry.
yeah,
They're gonna have to lose.
no.
I don't want to hear it. That would ruin my whole basketball season. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, that just can't happen.
Yeah, so if and then the only other person looks like with a chance to win, if Houston has this cool ESPN has this cool thing, the group forecast now, where it actually tells you,
Yeah, I saw that.
what could
That's a
happen.
chance.
But I'm a woman, I'm 40.
Nice.
They are another team, that's a great name. Another team with Florida in it, and they got 3 or 4 as well. They had Michigan State over Auburn as well.
Mm-hmm.
But they have Florida beating Houston in the title game.
Interesting.
So yeah, that is it. And then
Mm.
of course there's Mal's and the stare downs
The
women's challenge. I know I was doing all right for a minute in it, and then I got jumped by a bunch of people, and I don't think even though I have UConn as my title pick, I don't think I have a chance to win anymore.
I haven't looked at the group. Let me go look.
I think you're the one with all the emojis as your name, right?
Yes, yeah.
You're
Alabama
in third
emojis.
place right now.
Nice.
Yeah, you're in third place right now, but behind the Wiggle Girls and Cherie B. Yeah, I have no chance to win. Even with a UConn win, I have just no chance to win. Actually, the best chance to win right now is the person in 6, Chubbs P and Yeti. They have UCLA as their champ. Let's see. You have a 12.9% chance to win. Your best path to win is for USC to beat UConn and for UCLA to reach the national title game. And then obviously for South Carolina to win it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You still have a chance to get all Final Four teams. Yeah.
I got a chance.
Yeah.
Man, the Wiggle girls, they have a 99.8%. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, they are up in they are competing for the the overall title. They are maybe not. They are ranked 6,288th in the.
But I mean, you got to think of all the people that put in the thing. That's pretty still epic.
No, yeah, that's still
considering.
very impressive.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that goes it. So we will, of course, whoever wins it next week, we'll get your information, get you whatever you want, T-shirt, some swag. And if it's me, everybody who's listening has to chip in and buy me a T-shirt. So no, just kidding.
Send $5.
Yeah, send. I will put out the PayPal. The Venmo, the Cash App.
Send money.
Yeah, I'm gonna request it too from y'all. So you better pay. Is the verbal agreement you entered into.
Absolutely.
But yeah, thanks again, folks. We will see you next time. Like I said as well, keep it done up real good yourselves out there. And one more time, thank you for everything, Sears and Grant Nelson.
Yeah.
Roll Tide and Greg, build the arena.
Build the arena because we got to keep this momentum going. I mean, we're reaching levels we never had, and we got to keep it where we're at. Absolutely.
Got to keep it. All right, buddy. I'll see you next time.
Yep. Have a good one.